This workers' compensation case is important to us as an authority for statutory interpretation. Mr. Changleng had become entitled to workers' compensation as a result of some workplace incapacity. We don't learn exactly what. Generally, under the relevant legislation at the time, compensation was paid in weekly instalments. But the legislation included this provision. Subject to this Act, the liability in respect of any weekly payment may, with the consent of the worker, be redeemed either in whole or in part by the payment of a lump sum, determined by the Commission. Mr. Changleng, on the strength of this section, applied to be paid a lump sum instead of weekly payments. The question before the courts was whether he could do that, or whether any such application had to commence with the employer. And it all hung on the meaning of the word redeemed. Now, the Act itself didn't provide any definition of redeem, and the word doesn't have a specific legal meaning. As a result, the rules of statutory interpretation say that the word should be given its normal meaning in the English language. Generally, up until the time of this case, that meant consulting with the Oxford Dictionary. However, in 1981, the Macquarie Dictionary had commenced publication, and even by 1985, it had started to become clear that the Macquarie would become the standard reference for Australian English. Justice of Appeal Samuels clearly had this in mind when he determined the meaning of the word redeem. He said, "The meanings of redeem in the Oxford English Dictionary are instructive. For example, they include to buy back a thing formerly possessed, to make payment for a thing held or claimed by another. The Macquarie Dictionary, to which we should now perhaps make equal reference, is to the same effect." This process of relying on both the Oxford Dictionary as the reference for Standard English and the Macquarie Dictionary as the reference for Australian English has become the customary manner of referring to dictionary definitions since that time, and it is now reasonable to say that both of these dictionaries might helpfully be consulted in order to determine the normal meaning of a word for statutory interpretation purposes. In this case, redeeming was something that could only be done by the person with the liability, which was the employer, so Mr. Changleng was unable to apply for a lump sum.